So we've now got all the kit items out of the box and just need to check, make sure everything's all good. For those who have bought the full kit with base, you'll see here is the 2 base sections and the 3 centre road strips for the track. So if you've bought the 3RS NB or the 3RS SF, you won't have those. This video we're focusing on these sections here. So we have the 2 roof panels, the 2 side panels, one end depot panel and the other end of the depot. And it's these 6 pieces that we are now going to get ready for priming. Okay, so we've got all the skeleton parts here. We've got the 2 top roof panels, 1 depot side panel, another depot side panel, the depot entrance door panel and the rear end depot panel. So we want to make sure that we get these the right way around. And to note this, the depot side entrance door must be against the entrance to the depot on both sides. When we fix it together, that entrance door needs to be this end. If you put it round the other way, then the roof trusses across will not fit exactly. So important, make sure that that depot entrance door is that end to the depot this side. The depot entrance door is also this entrance side down here. So we're priming the inside, priming the inside, priming the inside, priming the inside. We're also going to prime the inside of the roof panels. Now it's entirely up to you which way you have these on your roof. On our demo kit, we have them with the roof panels slightly lower down than the top, but you can put them either way if you want to. Just bear in mind when you come to put the top roof frame on that you make sure you get that round the right way. So we're going to prime the underneath of this as well, and once we've done a small coat of primer on all the pieces, we'll let it dry and then we'll give it a light sanding to allow the second and third coat to adhere nicely. I wouldn't recommend that you sand down the roof underneath, because this will allow you to place the roof on the roof trusses and it will stop it from sliding down, unless of course you're gluing this in place, then that's not really applicable. But where the holes are in the depot side panels as well, we may need to get a small file and just slightly file the overspray of paint that you do inside those. There's not a lot we can do about that, but we will overcome that by just giving it a slight sand and file inside, and we can check the roof trusses to make sure that they fit in before we glue them in. If you're going to be spraying the inside of your roof panel a different colour than the top colour, because obviously the top is going to be a grey and you want to paint the inside white, you do need to make sure that this roof framework panel fits on one side, because again this only fits one way around. So make sure you fit that on there. You don't have to glue it down first at this moment in time, just put it up to the framework, make a note of which side you want to put it on, and then make a note, obviously if you're going to spray the inside of this white instead of grey, it's that side you're spraying and not that side. So just bear that in mind, get the framework, put it on top, check the alignment, because again it'll only go one way around. Don't fit it at this point of time, this is one we made earlier. Make a note of the side you're going to spray inside and do that. Okay, so we've given our panels first dusting of primer, so I'm going to allow that to dry for the next 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to use my sanding block to give it a light sanding over, ready for keying to do the final 2 to 3 coats, and that should suffice. Okay, so we've given these a light sanding with my sanding block, which is good enough to give it another key, and then what we'll do is we'll go back into the garage and we'll give it its top 2 coats. So you can do this all in one go. If you're taking them all together, just spray them lightly over and you'll find that the paint adheres to this MDF wood really well. So that's the next job, is to give it its final coating. Okay, so here are our internal panels, all now fully primed. Now you'll find that if you look closely that there is a sort of like a roughness to them. So these side panels, the depot end panel and the other end panel, you might want to give a light sanding at the end just to make them a bit nicer. The sanding block that I use is very fine, and it does a great job of just keying it down and making it look a lot better. I'm not going to do the roofs, as I mentioned earlier, because I want them to sit on the roof truss without sliding down, and that little roughness of the paint on the wood just gives it that adhesion to stop it from moving. But obviously if you're going to glue it down, then by all means treat it with sandpaper, weather it and do exactly how you want. So I'm going to let these dry. Now obviously depending on the time of year when you're painting this will depend on how long these take to dry. If you're doing it in the summer, these will be dry within 15-20 minutes. I'm now in November doing this video and it's wet, damp and miserable outside, so I'm going to let these dry overnight before I even come back to these. But our next job is to go and do the roof truss panels, so we'll do those next. So that's the end of this video. So just come back to them, key them lightly, put them to one side, and these will be ready soon for continuing.